Trace and Miller, we'll start with Todd.
Miller, you seemed really determined tonight to get the ball. When you got the ball, obviously you were able to hit the mark. But tell me about your mentality coming into this game. You seemed a little bit more demonstrative than usual on the floor.
I think a lot of it was just game plan. I know kind of like coming into the game how their wings and stuff guard off the ball, and kind of looking at last game's film, how they guarded Trace, and kind of finding where the gaps are in the defense, especially when Trace has the ball in the post. I'm always trying to move and getting his line of vision, and when we lock eyes, it's I know it's coming, and so it's just being super opportunistic. That's all really.
Trace Miller has talked about basically just knowing his role, knowing that he doesn't have to necessarily take a high volume of shots. How have you basically just seen him embrace what you guys need to do? Maybe it's not tonight where he has as many points as he had, but just taking the shots when they're there.
First off, he's a competitor. He's going to do whatever coach asks him to do. And not only was he hitting shots, but what really stood out to me was his effort on the defensive end of the floor, how he's sitting down and he was guarding. It was just he was really, really locked in on the defensive end. And when you're playing like that on both sides of the ball, and a player like him, he really impacts the game at a high level. So.
Yeah, Miller, I wanted to get your thoughts. You've been around basketball a long time. When you see somebody get 2,000 points and 1,000 career rebounds, what does that show? I mean, what are we looking at when we talk about those kind of numbers?
Well, it's just dominance, really. I mean, it's consistency, really, because at the end of the day, you not only have to be a really, really, really good player, but you have to be consistent. I remember playing against him my freshman year. To now, it's like the dude's been doing it since he was a freshman. And been that dominant. And I still remember the scouting reports when I was a freshman and we were playing against Indiana, and kind of what he was doing. So it's just like, it's one thing to be a really good player in college, but to be able to do it year after year after year, it shows a lot. It really shows a lot.
For Trace, obviously back in December when you played these guys, Coach Woodson made a point to talk about how they out-toughed you a little bit. Mm-hmm. How have you guys gone about in the last couple of months making sure that didn't happen again?
I just think that's how we've been playing. After the Penn State game, we went into Wisconsin and we started playing with a chip on our shoulder, and it was the same thing tonight. And they were being tough, but I thought we were being tough right back. And they're a great team. Defensively, they get after it. They muddy it up, but we got the best of them tonight. And but props to them because they made it a game the whole time. So.
For either of you guys, Coach talked about a belief that you guys believe maybe more now than you did maybe a month ago. So I guess the question is, what changed? Like, why do you believe more now than you did previously, perhaps?
I just think the biggest thing for us was just confidence. When you lose 3 in a row, you're kind of down on yourself. But Coach Woody always says you got to find a middle ground, and so that's what we did. And then when you win one game, it can string to 2 to 3, and then you win 7 out of your last 8. And so that's with us, and we just got to be consistent and just take it one game at a time.
Jim?
Miller, a great night for you, obviously, with the 18 points. But the offense seems to have really kind of opened up in the last few games, a lot more movement with everybody, and it's more space, opening up more room for Trace and opportunities for you. Has there anything changed? What adjustments have you guys made to make a difference there?
I think we've just gotten a lot better, playing around Trace and when he has the ball and giving him space, to let him work, but also, keeping the wings, defenders, hold them accountable as well, because we work a lot on shooting and, the shots we're going to get and kind of where they're coming from. And so, it just comes down to, getting better at, what the coaches are asking us to do. And, we all are kind of feeling, more comfortable with where our looks are coming from and kind of, how to be opportunistic and aggressive in those areas.
Trace, I know your back is feeling better, but in the last month you've had the 4 best rebounding games of your entire career. So how do you explain that? Like, what's different now than you over your entire career?
I just felt like I've just tried to have a knack for the ball. I know Coach Money, Coach Woody always says the board man gets paid, and so I'm just trying to go get rebounds, whether it be offensively, defensively, just trying to time where the ball is going to be. But then again, I think it's how long I've been here as well, kind of just knowing where players are playing me, how I can, if I'm watching, if I know a shot's going to go up, getting inside position, just stuff of that nature, just being smart and kind of timing where the ball's going to be.
Miller, in this 7-1 run you guys have been on, you've made a lot of gritty plays that change the game, going after loose balls with full effort. What is it about how you were brought up, how you were coached maybe when you were younger that makes you want to give that effort for your teammates and your team?
Well, I grew up with three brothers, and man, we really just fought all the time in a good way. Playing in the, one-on-one and two-on-two, basketball in our driveway. Late at night we had the cops called on us a couple times just because there's yelling and screaming and stuff. But the worst thing my dad did was get us boxing gloves for Christmas one year, so that didn't last long. But at the it really, that really shaped me, into who I am, because without them, without my brothers, I'm not who I am today. And even my mom, she works her tail off. She works, the hardest in my family. And so it really is just, in my nature to grind and work and be that dude who is willing to do whatever to win.
Trace, there's been a lot of attention the last couple days, and especially today when you hit the 2,000th point of 1,000 rebounds and all the assists and all the blocks. And Coach, even just before you guys came in here, said your career's been unbelievable to him. Have you reflected at all at what you've accomplished to this point, and how? And are you conscious of those numbers, and how much better a player do you think you are now than as a freshman?
Do I know about the numbers? Yeah, I do. I don't really pay that much attention to it right now. We got a lot of season left and a lot more to be focused on than me just individually. We're trying to win, and so I'm just doing my best to help my teammates win and win basketball games. But when my career is over, then I'll kind of inflect and then think about all that stuff. And then just me for my freshman year, I think it's been a long ride. It's really, really it's crazy because I remember my prior teams, my freshman year, with players like Devontae and Duran. It feels like a long, long time ago. And so just being able to just do it consistently, like Miller said, for this long and just keep growing areas of my game, whether it be my passing, my ball handling, stuff of that nature. And it's really been a blessing to play here, and I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Last question.
Going off that, you're talking about how important it is just to win basketball games now. Despite all the accolades, how important is finally beating Rutgers to you?
It's very important. I think that was the last team in the Big Ten that I hadn't beaten. We got Wisconsin earlier this year, but they're a tough team, and credit to them. They always bring it. The RAC's probably the toughest place to play in that I personally played in, but they have a lot of pieces. Caleb's great. I remember when they used to have Miles Johnson. He was a monster. Big Cliff's a really great player. They have a lot of pieces around them, and just finally getting over that hump, and like Coach Woodson said, just getting the monkey off your back. It's big for us, and we just got to keep moving forward and just taking it one game at a time.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.